hello. Send guillefix invite.
Jump.
Hello.
Let me know when you load in. But... Yes. Hello.
Hello.
It'll be loaded soon. I can. Oh, nice. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, it's loaded now.
Is everyone loaded in?
I'm good, man.
I'm loaded.
I'm loaded in.
Okay.
I got like a few more people, like...
So, Gil, if you wouldn't mind talking about your work a little bit, like what made you decide you wanted to do this for an MMC project and your thoughts behind it?
It was quite last minute, in fact, like because I was busy for part of the month, but then like kind of the last week of the month, I had some ideas and I thought like, why don't I just like try to go all in and just submit something in like less than a week or something. And,
wow.
And I started to like just experiment with L systems, which is the math behind these things that kind of procedurally build things. Because I did them for a long time and I never played with them, so I thought it was like a really cool opportunity. And then after I looked how they worked online, I said that actually this wouldn't be so hard to implement, and so I just made them in Logic. And I just kind of went through that kind of 3 or 4 days before the deadline. I said like, okay, I have a thing that is working. I like the thing that makes the plants. And then I asked someone if they could help me like make a world. And then Monsoon very kindly said like, yeah, I can give you plants. And that's kind of where the island came from. So that was very cool. Yeah, and then it was just a bunch of sleepless nights, as I said.
Definitely, I'm sure a lot of other MMC people can agree that happened.
Yeah.
So, should we go to the coral and try it out?
Yep.
Yeah, so...
I really like how there's also like lore for each one, like, especially the foul FPS smell.
Yeah, so like, well, I haven't included the law explicitly for the plants. I guess, yeah, like, so the theme is like the truth mine at the end, which by the way comes from a book that Brooks has recommended to me. So, so the truth mine is kind of, so it's like where you start to dig deeper into what's behind this. So that's kind of, I guess, why the laws are written there. But all of these things you can inspect in the inspector, and you can figure out kind of how they work very easily. I also made up like names that sound like real, scientific planes of animals and of plants and things. So you can like grab them and throw them.
Let's throw one.
Ooh.
And so,
Good.
and then it makes this, and now you have an object you can use inside your world. So,
yeah.
Generative models, very cool. I look forward to seeing how people end up using this to create their own worlds.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's some weird bugs sometimes that I'm not quite sure, but it's funny how even when it's bugged, it can be interesting.
Yeah, some kind of abstract art.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you mind giving us a tour of some of the other parts?
So there's like this one was made like hours before the deadline. Like basically I had some version of palm trees, but they didn't look very good, so I started playing about how to make them better, and that was kind of the result. Like
I love this one.
So they're stochastic as well, so like every time you throw it, they will be slightly different. I mean, as you can see, like they all look slightly different.
It's there, but this is not syncing for me, so that's why I can't see it, and we can't see it on stream.
I see.
It's the big one, I think.
This one is this one is funny because this one is funny because the plants are included as objects in the building process, but they were built with another seed. else. So this is very much like a hierarchy kind of building on top of process. So basically, I started with like a leaf that I made with the mesh with the convex hull. I just made a leaf, and that's the same leaf you find basically everywhere. And this was like, I just stretched the leaves, changed the thing, and then I made a thing. I tried to make a pattern that will make like a thing, like a palm tree leaf. And then I thought I could use it to make a palm tree. So I'm like, it's kind of building kind of on top of each other.
Interesting.
Yeah. This one is interesting because this one is basically, if you don't bake them, the way they work is they become this, so you can grab them, and they have like a smooth transform.
Oh.
So I thought this could be interesting because it could simulate a bit like the wind blowing on it. If you added like a wiggler in here, so like a slow frequency.
Nice.
Although this one has more performance, of course. But... yeah, and so there's like this whole bunch of other ones. You can wait. I can very quickly like make a small version because it will kind of lag out less. It's like literally you just have to change one parameter in here.
I like how you have information down in the mines to understand the L systems better too. And so all of this is able to be used in different ways. Like, oh, I can't wait to see more and more worlds using generative art.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
But now we know that the toast is good for growing plants.
Yeah, I'm very fertile environment.
Yeah.
Jam is very nutritious for plants.
And you can like just
Very
like
cool.
duplicate them after and like duplicate efficient.
Bonsai point.
Yeah, you can like even like take a bunch of them, like just duplicate the seeds as well, and just like grab 3 of them and just like or like throw them in pairs and just like. It's just really fun, like flying on top of this world and just like throwing. Yeah. Yeah, so there are like a bunch of different species. This one's one of the simplest ones. This was my favorite, of course.
The nearest flower.
綺麗。ネオスフラワー。
Yeah.
おー。
綺麗ですね。Yeah.
めっちゃ綺麗。
Yeah, so the seed for this one, so it says here like the explorer of this island hasn't found it, but it's sure that it's somewhere in the island. So
Oh, secrets to be found. Ooh.
yeah,
Maybe someone
so
will find the seed somewhere.
well, Frooks, actually, Nexulam was the first to find it, I think, when they were visiting it. And here, if you walk down, is the truth mine.
Oh.
So it explains how it works. So you can read it in more detail if you want. But also it does it like in a visual way. So this will kind of try to explain to you why this sort of makes fractals, because it's sort of substituting bits of itself, like a line, with copies of the whole thing in this particular example. And that's why it creates things that are self-similar, because it's literally building it in that way. And that's where fractals come from.
You also have a nice mimic of nature.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you mix the self-similarity with branching and the diverse variability because of randomness, and then that's basically how you make like very natural looking things. If you if you turn around and you see the entrance of the kind of the truth mine cave.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I've had the stream not open the whole time. I'm sorry, stream people.
Oh, I see.
Oh, what happened?
Oh my goodness.
So these seats are designed for clicking rather than grabbing. I mean, you can grab them, but then you lose them because I didn't make this one's kind of duplicate a grabbable instance.
I apologize, everyone on stream.
I'm streaming like on mine as well. I'll publish the video afterwards,
Yeah.
in case people
Are you
want
also
something.
streaming?
Yes, we're streaming. We're both you're just explaining like cool stuff. It's awesome. Like,
Yeah, so basically here you can just explore different kinds of fractals.
I love this.
I don't know, like some of them like make a really cool like wall art. Like you could like print this and put it on your wall.
Yeah. I like it as well. Actually, they're arranged somewhat in themes. It's the kind of thing that I make that I don't know if anyone will ever notice, but it goes kind of from how many kind of sides the polygonal structure goes. Because they're all triangles, it goes up to like squares. All the way up there, it goes up to pentagons. So it has a little bit of
Okay.
arrangement, but. Yeah.
Nice.
On the wall.
I can also see what happens if I change this to like I have no idea. This would probably look like a grid, I imagine.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, I didn't know this made this. Interesting.
One of the things I love like
Definitely
about
this could be
systems like
applied to
this
building
is
creation.
like you
Yeah,
can just like
so-
mess around and get something unique.
Yeah,
It
I
makes these
actually-
textures make it more performant.
yeah. I actually thought about making reverse with this, like a version that has kind of more stochastic angles and also branching and things, because reverse basically look like trees, but just in 2D, right? It's like, like and you mentioned world building, so like another detail that's maybe it's hard to see. It's like in the actually we missed one of the coolest fractals. Like
We should just see a couple more and then maybe jump in for the other entries too. Ooh.
yeah.
すごい。
Cool.
Ah, that's cool.
So it has a little comment in here that it says that somehow this one reminds me of this cave, and that's because the cave itself was made with one of these L systems.
That is awesome.
Yeah, if you look at the cave plan, it looks like a low iteration version of this guy. And all I did is you can just take this system and just substitute lines with whatever you want. So you can say, instead of lines, make walls with roofs and maybe stochastic, like different kinds of rocks.
Neat.
And, yeah.
That's awesome. This is just the first steps in generative design inside here. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I like how
You
there's
have
like something
expertise in
that people can
artificial-
use. So
Do you think you end up tying in neural networks and other things with this, since that's your expertise?
I don't know. Neural networks maybe a bit further on, but one idea, I mean, I didn't have time for that for the competition, but one idea I really thought was like putting some evolution in it. Like you can make it like, okay, the idea I thought is imagine you have a tree that when it grows, it actually makes seeds appear on it, like little fruits, but the fruits are not exact copies of the seed that made the tree. They're actually slightly mutated.
ooh,
Ooh.
So they will make a slightly new tree, and then you can like have like this, just select the trees you like the same way that we did in nature, right? Just scroll it and see like, oh, this one's slightly different. I'm gonna breed this one and see what else it makes. And yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, guillefix. That's awesome. This is very, very cool. Interesting environment. It has like a mixture of like a museum type quality too, with all the information panels too. I love it. Well, let's jump back and check out some others.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
See you.
See you later.
Here you go.
I'm gonna close the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one takes a bit to load. Just gonna give it a bit. Advice to adventurers. You can grab copies of these seeds and throw them to plant a tree. Some bigger trees can produce a full FPS smell when growing, which you should cease when it matures in a few seconds. Truth mines, that's from diaspora, that's good reference, are found in the south part of the island, where the big rocks are. We have collected some seeds in the specimen from our first expedition. Welcome to the Lindenmayer Island. Here we have found one of the first truth mines of this new verse in 1968. Aristide Lindenmayer discovered a simple mathematical system that captured the growth of plants. The system turned out to be deeply connected to other structures in the computational universe, such as fractals. In the island, we find seeds that implement Lindenmayer systems. Also, it's just please like don't run like in case you like trigger something. Credits: War by guillefix and Monsoon of Babies. Monsoon made Island, guillefix made the truth mine and plant seeds. Seeds physics based on Turbo Snowball in its essentials. Textures, so have the crystal model by HS Wolf. It's considered ambient shore sound from royalty free. So let's give it a check. Let's explore around, see what this place has. There's some like really interesting like looking structures. I think these are actually like algorithmically grown. It's really like because like it kind of like gives them like this like nice organic like look. We have some like big ones over here.
There's something.
And it seems like there's actually a way like to grow this in the map. So let's have a look. This island is alive. Like all the species of seeds found in it itself is a seed. It will bud and grow if its explorers nourish it with bright light in their minds. So we'll plant here. This thing here, I'm not sure. Is this just a rock?
I got a seed.
A pineapple. I don't think this one's... Is this the seed?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that one didn't take.
Oh, planted.
Oh, does it work?
Yeah, planted right there.
Yes, the origin.
Let me try.
Maybe it's like a specific area that you can plant.
It doesn't seem to work on my end. Wait, can we
Oh, look. Try this one, Frux. Try this one. That's the right one.
does it work?
Yeah, try.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's cool.
Builds them out. Here, try this one.
Oh, and it bakes itself. Wait, where are like getting them from? Like, are they from
Oh,
here?
wait, on the main folder it said that you can spawn them out through the public. You had to add that public folder.
Oh,
You can
oh,
spawn
we
out
kind
a
of
bunch
like.
seeds.
Oh, that's cool.
There's also this.
They're kind of like I want to like find like the ones that are like in the map because like the ones like that are in the folder like that's technically not submitted to MMC, so we have to like go through the ones that are supplied here.
Yes, grab these ones.
So Sombra. Oh, that's cool. So like it grows. Let's try a few. Like see like if they're like different. Oh, this one didn't take. What? Come on. Ooh, there we go. I think I've actually seen some seeds over here.
Let's do a different one.
Chematocoralis. Corallic structure which seems to appear in infinite variety of colors. One didn't take. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so like these are all like oh. I think my bake it like after it's finished.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me. Can I throw them on mine because like otherwise like it.
This one only does it in 2 dimensions.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's procedural.
Chematocoraplanar. Coraplanar. I like it actually. They have like names on them. The species seems to only develop in 2D. Come on.
That's
That is really cool.
It's like looks like neurons growing out.
Yeah. Let me check some of the other plants. Oh, wait, these have grown. Hold on, is there a plant? Is there a seed for this one? I don't see the seed. I wonder why this one didn't grow.
It says this island is alive, like all the species of the seeds found in it. It itself is a seed.
I don't think this one's grown procedurally though.
Build it and grow, and its explorers nourish it with the bright light of their minds.
Megapso's vortex leaves a bit of a spiral pattern at the top, best appreciated from high place. Let's try it out. And one didn't take.
Just a rock.
Oop, there we go. Let's see from the top. It's really cool like how many like unique ones are there. Like still more, I mentioned. Hold on. Megapsilus fina. Very tall species has branched leaves that produce a nice shade for enjoying beach. Let's try throwing some here on the beach. Oh, that one didn't take. Ah, come on. Ah, doesn't want to. Well, I guess through here in the shade. Oh. Sure, this one's not taking. Maybe something with it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is really cool. And it seems to actually like bake it like once it's done, so like it's more like efficient that way. Revolve Tribrachium mobilis, a very interesting plant. It can be moved, try grabbing the branch in sections. It processes foul low FPS smell, however, which is probably why the species doesn't proliferate it. A change in single baked gene that affects its development is apparently responsible for its curious behavior. Oh, so this one. Oh, so you can actually like modify this one, even like moves dynamically. That's cool. I don't know if I. Nope, I cannot undo it. Can move this part too. I'm mesmerizing with the plant.
Mesmerize.
Let's see what else. Oh, this one's like a leafy plant. Tribachia lenticularis. The species of small trees seems to be the most common on the island. It spreads leaves all throughout its trunk, perhaps due to the humid tropical climate. I like how there's actually like lore. There's actually like a lore to like each of these plants.
Each plant.
Ooh, there we go.
Using something like this for like education would be like monumental. I feel like.
I like these systems are for like these like.
You could have real life plants as a botanist or something like that. And
yeah, I like these systems are for like use like even like in computer science, like to teach like evolutionary systems and things like that. This one's really like dense. It's really cool, like just seeing like watch grow. There we go. I know it's grown. And you can actually, this is like a full like 3D model. So like now, I mean, I can like use this in some place and put it there. It makes like really like natural, like unique looking plants.
And all procedural too, so each one's gonna be different.
But this one is the one we tried. Here the procedures like every time like you get like a unique one. Fast growth. Oops. There we go. That was quick. Oh, I wonder if there's like a thing for this one. Don't see the seed though. Tribachia simplex. Archaic subgenus of the Tribachia, living fossil showing simple origins of its family.
Trial version.
Trial version, obviously.
Huh?
Okay.
Trial version.
Oh, I think this one's done. That's really cool.
Trial version.
Why do you keep saying trial version?
So let's see, there seems to be the truth mine somewhere. Tribachia lacrimosa. Oh wait, there is this the one. Neoplantea aurea. It's the first flowering plant we have found. Its antlers are bright and gold color, but function is still unknown. Also, we haven't found the seed of this plant yet. Oh, we think it should be somewhere in the island. Maybe it's in the truth mines. Some crystals over here. Oh, so this one describes like hell systems. Is there no reason like you actually got this like to work like inside of Neos? That's kind of like describes like the technical like things like how the system like works and how it like generates.
Yeah.
There you go. Click on the sea gems crystal to see. Also wait, so there are also for gems. The mysteries have just begun. Triangles, squares, pentagons, branching, self-similarity, recursion, order, and chaos. Behind every shape a truth, behind every truth a question.
I think they're over near the key.
Crystal, discovered by Purple. Okay, let's try it out. Oh,
Where?
oh, that's cool. It's creating like a complex pattern.
Oh, they're already here.
Hello. I've got guillefix as well. It's really cool, like they managed to like get this like oh, and we got this one baked.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, I don't think it's scalable though.
I'm still loading for some reason.
I'm gonna try some other ones.
I like this one.
Thing. This one's just called a thing. I don't see the crystal though. To click.
The thing is that this one I had in my development world and I didn't remember what the formula was, so I just put it.
Oh, I see. I can check out some other ones. It looks really pretty.
Look at this one.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Wait, is this one also like crystal growth, vehicle tree system?
Oh, wait a minute. Oops.
I wonder if this one.
Accidentally.
Where's
Oh.
you throw this one?
Or I'm growing this one. There we go.
Oop.
Wait, this one's throwable?
Wait a minute. I think I accidentally.
Ah, I think I had something.
Oh, I think I must have accidentally grabbed it.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, the thing is that they're throwable, but you can also click on them and that way they don't get destroyed.
Yeah, you can click on it.
Yeah, I'll click on these. Oh, that's cool. It's like a flower, like kind of like petal. This is really
That's
cool.
pretty.
How are these? Let me try this. Oh. Gym board. Hilbert sponge.
I like this.
Oh, this one has grown. Oh, wait.
I don't know why when there's multiple users, sometimes it has a weird bug, but you're supposed to be able to throw it. Oh, I think it's colliding with my own hand.
Oh, I see. That opens.
Still looks
Oh, it just grows
pretty.
where. Yeah, it's really cool. It actually like works like with crystals as well. It's changing the shape. Oh, this one's really a cool star. So please like don't activate them like before I do. Like
I'm just looking at them. Something
oh,
interesting.
this one's using like animated
Yeah,
material. Star of Time. Extension of 3D Koch star-like thing, then changing turning angle. Oh, so this one grows in 3D. Ooh, that's pretty.
Actually, if I remember correctly, the purple one you found at the entrance may be the same one as this one, but if you change this one parameter, like the angle parameter, from like 120 to 90, so that it becomes more squarey.
Oh, I see.
I think that's the thing that made the purple one.
Hmm.
Hey,
Oh,
Gilly,
this
are
is
you
so,
from
like-
the Czech Republic?
No, I'm from Spain actually.
I'm from Spain.
Where is churning continuous events?
It's
Oh, so you can actually like make your own like seeds for this one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Is it like preset with something or like a?
It's really cool.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's the Koch star.
Oh yeah, but if you throw it, you lose the seed.
Oh yeah.
That's,
Well, I don't really like know like I know from like we have like search like for some patterns to put in there.
Yeah, I could make them like inscrutable instances, like the ones in the plants.
There's a few over here as well, Froxy.
Whole system. Is it good to config?
Yeah,
Smooth
all of the
parameters.
things are in there.
So you can like just like play with these and customize them and so on. Is it really
Yeah,
cool?
like if you just change the pluses to minus in here, that makes also a cool pattern.
Oh,
Yeah, it's cool how like very simple changes can make things like you don't really
yeah.
like kind of still like surprise you.
It's one of the things I love like about systems like this is like they have like a lot of like emergent like properties. Oh, I see. Like you don't really know what it's gonna do until like you actually like try it. Like, and you get like something like really complex from relatively like simpler rules.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool. Oh wait, I haven't seen this one.
Oh, I like this one a lot.
This is the trifrac. Okay, variation of the crystal fracture obtained by changing the turning angle to 120 degrees.
So you can increase the traces of that one. This one I also found by accident.
Oh,
Like this one was also like another one, but I just happened to change the angle parameter.
Yeah.
And,
I love like how you like given like each one like also like its lore, like some explanation for like why do the way it is.
yeah, and those are the things that you can change on the in the inspector under the configuration. You can change the actions and the rules.
Oh, I have
Oh, yeah.
not noticed this one yet.
Oh,
Oh,
this one's also really cool.
look at this one.
Wait, does it grow like this or is it just multiples?
Seems to be multiple flakes of it.
Yeah. You could easily make a seed that makes it grow like it's. But
Oh, there we go. It's like almost like a wall art, like you can like put it somewhere. It just looks pretty.
With all these different unique fractals, at some point it's almost like having one of those
Yeah.
fractal generating programs, but within Neos.
yeah,
So I really want to find like the flower I'm not sure if it's like in these caverns or somewhere
I
outside.
don't know if I hit it too much. You can definitely find it, but it's a bit hidden.
Well, let me know like if it's in the cavern or if it's outside.
It's outside. But
Okay,
just one more thing about the camera, like the little comments I say here that this fractal reminds me a bit of this cave. The cave itself was actually made with an L system as well.
Oh,
So-
wait, like this whole cave, like the shipwreck?
Yeah, so in the public folder, one of the seeds, I didn't put the seed here because if someone clicked the seed, it will try to make one of these caves and it will be a bit.
Oh, I see. Wait, can I see it like from like if I like go? No, I can't. Never mind.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean it's covered, so it's hard to see.
Yeah.
But basically it's like if you inspect the seeds, it has a part where it's like you can select what component goes in every segment, and you can put like whatever there. So what I just did is like instead of a segment mesh, I put like a wall and a bunch of rocks, and then I tell you like choose between these different settings of rocks, and so it adds some like diversity and stochasticity. And then it just makes basically like a cave of the shape of a fractal.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. Like it gives it like the whole like it's like metallic level that the cave itself is generated by one of these systems.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try like look for the flower as well because I'm like really this one like looks really pretty and I'm like really like curious about seeing that one like to grow.
Yeah, I mean if you want a hint at some point, I can give it.
Sorry, can say that again.
If you want a hint to find it, just you can ask me.
I'll have a look first, and if I can find it, I'll ask for a hint.
Are you talking about like the blue flower?
Yeah, the blue flower.
There was like another plant you were talking about too.
I don't want like this one.
I just noticed something too, Fuchs. Look closely at the flowers.
Oh, come on. There's like a... Oh, there's news. That's cool. It actually works pretty well for it.
So if we find a Neosova, that's probably what it is.
It's hidden somewhere in the plants.
Plant.
I like the environment as well. It seems like it's made like with convex hull.
Was there one for this?
Aha. Oh no.
Yeah, but I think
I
it's only in the
escaped.
public folder. This one I made very last minute, like literally hours before the deadline. I just was playing
Oh,
around.
there's another one over here.
Wait, did you find something down there? This way?
I just found another like instance of that plant, but like nothing for the plant itself.
Hey, looky guys, I grew a flower.
Did you find a flower?
Yeah.
I like how the water is just got out.
Wait, what?
We found a flower, but like we need to find a seed for it.
Yeah, I found the seed.
You found a seed? Where did you find it?
Yeah. You want me to tell you?
Oh, no, I want to.
You wanna try to find it?
Is it a pineapple?
Very fun. No.
No.
The pineapple was only here because
You're cold though. You're very cold. You're ice cold.
Very cold.
Yes, you're ice cold.
Wait a minute.
You're getting warmer. A little bit colder.
What?
Ice cold.
What?
Oh,
Warmer.
Is it up here? What?
Ice cold, boy. Ice cold. Warmer. 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 Getting warmer. Very warm. A little bit cooler. Warmer, 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 warmer.
I was already checking here. Wait, is it inside of this? No.
I wonder how did you find it?
Oh,
Because I jumped over here.
oh,
See.
oh, there we go. Oh, it even has like a golden thing.
I mean, I made it so that if you're going into the, you can actually see it from
And it
here.
grows.
It's the Neos flower.
It's the newest flower. It's still growing. There we go.
Flower of myth.
What?
The flower of myth.
Meth?
Myth. Myth, not math. Myth.
I'm like, what? Oh, let me grow. Oh, I think I broke it though.
Interesting. That seems to only happen when it collides with a hand.
Yeah. I made like a strange variant. Oh, I think it's maybe, is it like growing based on the offset?
Yes.
Oh, we got a big one.
Well, that's because before it measures, as if it bakes, sorry, like it's still growable and it has the smooth, the hierarchical smooth transform.
Oh,
So you can mess with it while it grows.
that's really cool though. Like, it's just like crazy, like how complex things like this can like actually grow, or like and it can grow something like this. Plants.
I found it in 5 seconds and you told me to.
I mean, you're supposed to find it if you're like walking down the cave and you look through this window. It's exactly aligned so you can see the seeds.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
see the
if you,
window.
Like, walk out.
just
I
walking
didn't
through.
see it that way. I just came walking. I just came walking out, and then as you guys were talking about, right when you said it was in the cave, and I like came out here, and then I was like,
Yeah, I was like
walking
looking
around,
outside.
jumped right here, and then I was like, oh, what's this area over here? And then I went like, I was like, oh, hee
I said you found another way to find them.
yes. I am very good at that. I'm good at finding Easter eggs, which is why
fun.
I'm disqualified from competitions.
Oh,
Nice.
so this is the. It's really cool looking.
Very, very amazing idea for a world though, planting seeds and having it grow out to different plants and having a lore behind them.
So this is the Lindenmayer Island by guillefix. It's a really cool, like, procedurally generated like island with like lots of like different plants, and you can play with them and customize them, and you can like make your own. It's a really cool world. Like it's just like getting something like this, like working in Neos. It's like it's kind of cool, like how like natural like a lot of these plants actually like look. Like it kind of gives it that kind of like what's the word? You know, like when there are like pictures like from like the prehistoric like Cambrian explosion and so on, like they have like all these like kind of like crazy looking plants, and it kind of just gives me that, like that kind of like feel. It's really cool. So this is this Lindenmayer Island by guillefix, and thanks so much for like joining and explaining and showing us around as well.
No worries. Thanks for visiting.
Yes, it's really like awesome.
I will definitely keep playing more. I basically did this like in quite tight amount of time, but it's quite an art to just explore how you can change the rules to make, you know, more different kinds of plants. So yeah.
There's like lots to like devolve into like technically as well, like and even with like ones like they can like join like this world, and we've got another one growing. They can join and like play with it and like try to make their own versions of the plants and grow them out.
Yeah.
So thanks again so much. And we're gonna have a look at the next entry. So The next one we have is the MC Snowcon by Orange. So let's open it up.